A man asked his assistant to check out a bullet, and when they took a closer look, it turned out to be a rare type, making it hard to trace. Shortly after, an attack came from an unknown assailant in the building across the street. Several hired attackers were ready to take down the man, but instead of running away, he jumped into the next building and took them all out. After he took down the attackers, one of their phones buzzed, revealing a call from the person who set up the attack, showing this was all part of a planned hit. He stood on an X mark, the spot for a long-range shot with those rare bullets like the one he saw before. Next, we meet a guy named Wesley Gibson, who's an accounting manager at a company. Wesley's days are pretty gloomy. His boss is always bothered and nobody appreciates what he does. To make matters worse, his girlfriend left him for his buddy Barry, which messes with his head and leads to panic attacks he tries to handle with meds. While he was at the pharmacy, a stunning woman named Fox suddenly approached Wesley and told him that his father had passed away a week ago, taken out by a guy named Cross, who was now behind him, waiting for his moment to strike. Fox and Cross got into a fight, both showing skills way beyond regular humans. Fox had this cool, rotating weapon that let her aim perfectly. To stay safe, Wesley bolts outside to protect himself, but Cross isn't backing down. He chases Wesley in a truck. Just when Wesley's in a tough spot, Fox shows up in a red car to rescue him. Cross won't give up. He keeps chasing Fox, getting closer and firing shots. Fox then tells Wesley to take the wheel while she attacks Cross. While driving the truck, Cross loses sight of Fox because a bus blocks his way. Before jumping out of the truck, he shows off shooting skills way above average, curbing a bullet that hits the car Wesley is driving. Now Wesley finds himself at Fox's headquarters, where several of her colleagues and the head of an organization called Sloan are gathered. Wesley is asked to shoot the wings off 3 flying flies. For someone like Wesley, this seems impossible, but after a few tries, he nails all 3 flies perfectly, hitting each target. Sloan explains Wesley's panic attacks, mentioning that he can actually use this to his advantage. During a panic attack, his heart races at 400 beats per minute, letting him see everything as if it's moving in slow motion. Sloan also reveals that Cross, the guy responsible for his dad's death, is a traitor in the organization. The reason for bringing Wesley here is to sharpen his skills so he can use them for revenge. On top of that, all of his dad's wealth has been transferred to Wesley's account, including his favorite weapon. The scene shifts to Wesley's rented house. He thinks everything he went through was just a dream, but when the gun drops, he realizes it's real and quickly hides it in the bathroom. At the office, Wesley checks his account balance and discovers he's suddenly rich. His happiness is cut short when his boss arrives, triggering Wesley's uncontrollable anger. Fox picks up Wesley to take him to the organization's headquarters at the textile factory. He's planning to accept Sloan's offer to join the organization, but it's not that easy. Before officially joining, Wesley has to go through several tests. Wesley starts answering questions, but his answers don't meet expectations. As a result, he goes through several challenges until he passes out. The test goes on, and Wesley is now in the shooting practice arena. A target board is hidden behind some meat. Wesley thinks he has to shoot through the meat to hit the target, but he actually needs to hit the target without hitting the meat. This seems almost impossible for him. Sloan shows how to shoot a curved bullet, which relies on movement, instinct, speed, and wind direction. To sharpen Wesley's skills, Fox takes him on a moving train to boost his instincts. She starts by having him catch fast-moving reels, which Wesley thinks is impossible once again. Not seeing any improvement from Wesley, Sloan takes him to his late father's room, where many of his belongings are still there. Sloan explains that Cross did all this because he was jealous of Wesley's father's natural abilities and felt competitive since he could never reach that level. From here on, Wesley practices hard to find out the origin of the bullets Cross used, which are said to be hard to trace. Wesley can now easily catch rolls he once thought were impossible. Then Fox asks him for another test on the train, and this time, the results are pretty good. Wesley shows a significant improvement in his skills. The next and toughest test is deflecting a bullet. Wesley feels this one is impossible, but Fox steps up. She stands in front of the hanging meat, hoping that Wesley will have a panic attack that helps him direct the bullet, and he manages to do it. Sloan takes Wesley to a weaving room that's been running for 1,000 years, known as the Loom of Destiny. The machine produces a code that needs to be cracked to figure out a series of target names. Even if someone hasn't committed a crime, the organization's job is to keep peace on Earth by taking out potential threats before they can cause chaos. Wesley gets his first assignment, An office worker is the target. Even though Wesley doesn't know what crime the target committed, Sloan still gives him the mission. It's like practice before going after Cross. Accompanied by Fox, Wesley gets ready to carry out his task. When he spots his target, he hesitates. Suddenly, he remembers the story Fox shared the night before. 20 years ago, Fox's father lost his life to someone with the same name as the one produced by the loom. Remembering this, Wesley starts to believe and successfully completes his mission. The next day, Wesley takes on a second mission. This time, the target is a boss in a bulletproof car. However, Wesley and Fox find this task pretty straightforward. They team up to launch an attack from above and easily finish the mission. After that, Wesley heads back to his rented house to grab the gun he left in the bathroom. As Fox gets ready to take the car, Cross approaches Wesley and attacks him. Their bullets collide. Cross then runs into a building, seemingly trying to lure Wesley away from Fox. Wesley loses sight of him. Suddenly, a member of the organization arrives to help Wesley. However, in his panic, Wesley accidentally attacks this member, causing a bullet to lodge in his chest. As Wesley is caught off guard, Cross fires a curved shot that hits Wesley's arm. After this fatal mistake, Wesley's hatred for Cross grows deeper. He examines the bullet that hurt his arm and finds out it's not a rare, untraceable bullet, but one made by Pekwerski, who currently lives in the monastery where the organization was first formed. Wesley sees this as an invitation from Cross to meet him at the monastery. He asks for permission to go alone, hoping Cross will come to him willingly. Shortly after Wesley leaves, Fox gets an assignment with Wesley as the target. Wesley arrives at the monastery and sees an old man sitting in front of the loom, but the man runs away. Unexpectedly, Fox is already there and captures Pekwerski, getting ready to meet Wesley and Cross at the train station. At the station, Fox and Wesley hide while Pekwerski tries to lure Cross out. However, Pekwerski takes the chance to escape. They have to chase him. Wesley spots Cross on the train and jumps on it, while Fox follows in a car. They exchange shots, their skills matching perfectly, and their bullets collide again. Cross has a chance to attack Wesley, but decides against it. Meanwhile, Fox bravely jumps into one of the carriages, causing the last carriage to fall and making the driver stop the train above a deep ravine. Wesley seems to be in a dangerous situation. Cross helps him, but Wesley actually attacks him. Here, everything comes to light. Before leaving, Cross reveals that Sloan's story was a lie and that he is Wesley's biological father, which Fox confirms. Despite the ongoing mission, Fox attacks Wesley, causing him to fall into a ravine. Fortunately, Wesley survives the fall. He finds himself in an apartment near his rented house. Pekwerski explains the truth. Cross was a former member of the organization. He knew Sloan's name came up from the loom of fate, but he manipulated it to save himself. Cross decided to leave the organization to protect Wesley and let his son live a normal life. So why did Cross attack Wesley? The attack was part of his plan to separate Wesley from Fox and leave the organization. But by then, it was too late. His father had already passed away. Pekwerski gives Wesley a ticket to leave town for his safety, but despite the danger, Wesley decides to avenge his father's death. After Pekwerski leaves, Wesley accidentally finds a room with Cross's plan to destroy the Sloan organization's headquarters using rats. Wesley buys peanut butter to lure the rats. Once everything is ready, Wesley drives a garbage truck to the Sloan organization's headquarters and releases thousands of rats. After the rats do their job, Wesley gets ready to take action. He plans to fight everyone alone. In the library, Wesley is trapped as Fox and the others surround him from all sides. Here, Wesley reveals evidence that Sloan's name is on the loom of fate. Sloan sees this and points out that Fox and the others' names have shown up. This means everyone present is now a target, and Sloan invites them to find their targets. Sloan adds that his actions weren't for personal gain, but for the benefit of the people. He notes that the organization gets stronger every day and allows Fox and the others to choose their own targets. After uncovering everything, Fox takes action. She fires a circular shot that takes down all the targets in the room except for Wesley. Fox deliberately leaves Wesley alive so he can go after the real target, Sloan. Wesley goes back to his normal life and resumes living like an ordinary person. While Wesley is working, Sloan suddenly appears from behind. But it's not Wesley. It's a trap set up just like the one Wesley's father had prepared. From hundreds of meters away, Wesley uses rare bullets to take aim at the target precisely. And that's how the film wraps up.